Mediumship is when you are communicating with dead people. And what I mean by dead people is people. They had a life, they had a human existence. Sometimes we can communicate with guides that never had a human existence. It's kind of how we define the two. Your dead friends, lovers, relatives, people that you knew may be able to communicate with you or send signs and symbols if you have an awareness and an ability to be able to receive them. But that's not the only way that you can communicate to the other realm, right? So a lot of people just work with spirit guides. Oftentimes your spirit guides are the angels. They're beings that didn't incarnate. They're guides, informants. Sometimes they're very specific. Sometimes they're very general. Sometimes they've been with you since birth, like what we call a guardian angel or guardian. Other times they come and they go. That's quite different, than talking to Aunt Stella, or someone else like this. And with regard to reincarnation, because there isn't always a direct memory of it, there might be a sensibility or feeling, particularly with a people, place, or a thing that resonates with you, and it could be a clue. But I found this with a client when I was working in a private session, and they specifically wanted to work with mediumship, and specifically wanted to speak with a brother that had passed many years before. So instantly the brother came through. However, after having, exchanging the information between them, because I'm the vessel, I'm the medium, right? I got the dead person here and I got the live person here, and it goes this way. They realized that it was a different brother than the one that they were seeking to speak with. So we started to look for the other brother, and it was quite different. I had to work it pretty hard, but I was able to reach him. And it was very difficult because the other brother had already reincarnated, had chosen to have another life. And for me, for every person who works in the metaphysical arts, the way that we experience things is different. But for me, I could hear the brother speaking, but it sounded as though he was speaking through a very long tunnel. Whereas the first brother, it was like he was in the room with me, right? So one was incredibly present and clear, and the other one was really way off in the distance. And so when I had those two that differential, I had asked the one that was off in the distance specifically whether he was currently human, and he had said yes. And he told me what sex he was, where he was living, how old he was, why his soul had made those choices in this next go round. So the question about whether or not you can contact somebody that you know who has passed that has chosen to reincarnate, in my experience, with the example I just gave you, the answer is yes. It's not a guarantee that they always come through because they are trying to immerse themselves into a new experience. That's where the focus is. Whereas the one who hasn't reincarnated yet, that is present and here with me, has another objective. Possibly there's a role to play there. Not really interested in having the human experience. Is expressing their soul and their light in another way. So I hope that is helpful for the question about reincarnation and mediumship.